Get ready, cause it's about time for you to speak your mind. Secret Girls Club. Secret Girls Club. Super Secret Girls Club.
Hello. How's everyone's Wednesday going? As you can guess, we have a special guest today. We have Imon Snow joining us. Hello, Imon. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing great.
Good. We were running through like technical issues with Imon just before this, so I feel like this is literally first hello we have said to each other.
But we figured it out. Here we are. Everything sounds great. No one sounds like a robot.
Yeah.
I know. Technology is hard sometimes, but we're here.
For sure. What time it is with you, Imon? It's super early, right? Like 9:30?
Yeah, it's almost 9:50 in the morning, but I've been, I took the kids to school, so I like get, I have like a whole other life,
Right.
before the,
That must be nice, though. You have a whole day ahead of you. We are here, like, already in the afternoon.
yeah, it helps because it puts me on like my schedule for the day. So it's like, I have this, and then I have this time frame to work or do like, try to get outside too before I do work, like a walk.
Nice.
We're lucky in Oregon. It's just like super green here. So that's been like so helpful for me and just in general.
Yeah, that's good. So is it so just people who are joining us, we've known Imon for a really long time, but we haven't had a chat with her. I feel like when you last came to us in Indy when we were watching Game of Thrones, like we haven't really had a proper chat with you since then.
It's been years.
We were in like 3 different studios from then.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and I was in the apartment. That's what I remember. Just when you guys had the apartment.
Oh yeah.
So you guys have like
That was location 1.
Yes.
That was the ground
One?
zero.
I love it. Yeah. The great GOT skit from back in the day, for sure.
Yes. Oh my God. So much change since then.
Yeah. So today is going to be essentially like catch up with Imon, where we are, what we're up to. So Imon, tell us what you've been up to since it's been so many years since we last chatted.
I mean, a lot of stuff. Because I was trying to remember what date or what year I came down. 2018.
2017 or 18. 17 probably.
17.
Yeah. So, I mean, a pandemic happened. I don't know. Like, a lot of stuff happened, I think, just in general, like even outside of like my own personal life and like your guys' personal life. It was like in general, just like a lot that happened.
Yeah.
But I think like, working on a channel, really figuring out, I think since seeing you guys, it was kind of this figuring out what is the channel, like what are we doing here? What is the goal? Because I don't remember if we've talked about this for you guys, but like personally for me, when I started doing the reactions, it was just like a hobby.
Yeah.
It was just, I like The Walking Dead, so I'm going to react to The Walking Dead. And that was the only show I was reacting to. And then I started reacting to Fear the Walking Dead. And, but it was like all The Walking Dead based only. And then, so from there, it was just like, oh, this is really fun. This is exciting. And then it sort of just blew up. Like, you guys remember Skybound? Like the channel. They would do stuff. They did stuff with The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
And they were doing a lot of compilations at the time. They would like get everybody's videos together after each episode of The Walking Dead.
Okay.
So it just so happened that my second video I ever did got into their compilation, and
Nice.
people just came to the channel.
Mhm.
So it was like,
That's
oh,
awesome.
whoa, okay, this is real.
Yeah.
So that was like, I guess that is the thing. So it's been like this. This is a fun time.
Mhm.
But like, what is this?
Nice.
So that's my journey. I guess for 7 years. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
7 years strong. So what are you covering on the channel right now? What are your some of the reactions you have out there?
So right now I'm doing Outlander, which I told Serge, you guys need to watch Outlander. I feel like
We keep hearing about it.
what was that?
We keep hearing about Outlander, but don't know anything.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's I mean, it's about like, it's historical a bit, and it's a like time traveling kind of.
Oh.
I don't spoil, but that's, if you watch the trailer, then that you would know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so Outlander, I'm still doing Community. I'm on season 6, so I'm
Damn,
Ooh,
you're
almost-
far. Yeah, almost done.
almost done.
I'm almost. I love Community. It's like one of my favorites.
Yes.
What else am I watching? I don't even know what I'm watching, to be honest. Like,
You're also watching Vinland Saga? That's
for 7 years nonstop. So
Right.
yeah.
you guys know how.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But yeah, those are the main. I'm literally drawing a blank, and that's crazy to me. We just did Attack on Titan, Vinland Saga.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing, and some movies are coming out.
Oh wow.
I actually have my reaction to RRR is going to come out like today, I think.
Ooh,
Oh.
RRR. Okay, everyone, you better wait for that one.
Yeah. What'd you think about that?
Yeah. I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm in love. Like Ram, I like that actor. I cannot. I haven't had a crush on an actor like that since like 10 years ago. Like that was, and so I'm like this.
I love it.
I watched the 2 reactions you guys did. Like the you guys split it up into 2.
Yeah.
I had to watch. I started watching everybody's reactions
Yeah.
after watched the movie. I'm on the. Yeah.
Was that your first Indian reaction or first Indian movie that you watched? Yeah.
Well, KGF.
Okay.
And that was not well received.
Oh
Like,
no! Really?
So they
What
were
was it?
so mad.
KGF.
Okay.
Yeah. And I because I was not used to. So I grew up watching Indian films, like Bollywood films.
Mhm.
I didn't know there was Hollywood. I
Yeah.
didn't know like the whole thing. So I was like, yeah, I used to watch Dil to Pagal Hai and
Yeah.
Kabhi Khushi Kabhi Gum, all like Dave Das, like
it.
all these movies.
Yeah.
And because my best friends they're Sindhi, so I grew up with them, and they were like just showing me all these Indian movies.
Mhm.
And then I was like, people were like, first of all, this is not Bollywood.
Yeah.
So like I was like, oh no, like
Oh no.
so, and then we kept laughing in KGF because he was just so strong. So he kept punching people, and they were flying, and it wasn't like I wasn't making fun of it, but it was just kind of like we're having fun. Like that's kind of wild.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, but
yeah, that's it's always a tricky. We still get a hate about it because we forget and be like, oh, it's Hollywood, and then it's like I don't know. There's so many. It's like we're learning here. Tell us, and yeah.
I remember we watched, so like a lot of the movies that we watch, the Indian movies are Indian production, like generally like either super action
Oh yeah.
or it's like really silly,
Yeah.
and usually it's like a combination of both.
Yeah.
And then it's just like a lot of singing and
Musical.
when we were watching Sardar Udam,
Mm-hmm.
both Mickey and Suraj were on the couch saying how, like, this movie is not popular in India because it doesn't have enough songs and it's not, like, uplifting enough.
Yeah.
The comments were like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, we have serious films.
Yeah. That's
It was a whole thing.
Oh God, that's funny.
So you aren't either. So, I mean, no, I guess like it's like you'll never please everyone.
True.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's earning.
But it's funny that you got so much hate because you're not Indian, so I feel like there should be some leeway. I understand me getting a hate, but yeah.
I think they thought I was because I guess I'm a little bit like you don't know what I am. Like if you see me, maybe.
Yeah.
Like I remember growing. A lot of my friends, their friends thought I was Punjabi, so yeah. So growing up,
Interesting. So you got hate because
people,
they just thought that you are Indian, so you should know this. And be like, no, I don't know this.
Oh my God.
oh no, they were like talking about how we're stupid because we're American. So I don't know. At the same time,
I like sometimes think that there's like a subset of reaction audience that come to the video to feel better about themselves.
Makes sense.
And, and they will let you know about comments about everything you did that was wrong.
Yeah.
isn't it? It's the one comment that I think we all get is this channel really fell off. That's like so.
But it's like the same.
The same person constantly goes.
Yeah. It's like, all right, cool, thank you. We'll pick it back up.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's so it's interesting because like you guys have been doing this for a long, like 7 years to 8 years, I think.
Yeah.
There's like I think a lot of people, they don't know what they want with the reaction channel. Like after 7 years or 8 years, usually TV shows will stop, like, 6 seasons and it's done, or 8 seasons, it's done.
Yeah.
But everyone's trying to branch out. So not everyone's going to always just do only anime reactions or only movie reactions. If people want to like do stuff or like start podcasts, like you guys starting the podcast and skits, which that was like a huge thing that I feel like set you guys apart from everybody else too.
Yeah.
Which was really
Yep.
yeah.
So Imon, is this your full-time job now? Or are you still
So it became full time like 4 years ago.
Okay.
I think so, or 3 years ago, where I felt like, oh, this is safe. And so it's still my full time. But there's still just different things that I'm working on trying to, because there's like other things I want to branch out into doing. And trying to figure out like, how do I progress this? How does this work as like a full-time job for 10 more years or 5 more years, or like how, it's so finicky. I feel like,
It is. And there's a lot of external factors that are very hard to like control.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I was just talking about that to my therapist.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Well, like it would be cool to talk about, and we can talk about it here, is I don't hear a lot of people talking about on the reaction side, like the burnout of what we do.
For sure. Yeah.
Oh.
And for sure.
Yeah. So I'm not sure.
What's happened?
Oh, we can
I don't know.
we can still hear you because we have her connected through a phone, but her video has lost.
It's telling me the channel locked.
Oh, great.
I got it.
Kelly's going to look into it. But yeah, no, for sure.
Okay.
Burnout is a huge thing, especially with you, because you're the only one who's running it. So at least for us, if there's 2 or 3 people who are burning out, the other people can pick up and take a
Yeah,
stab at it.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was I think, yeah, for you guys, it's definitely like that. You guys rotate. There's like a good rotation. Are we here? Almost.
I believe so. You will have to crop her. Are you?
Can you turn your video on again?
Yeah.
There we go. All right.
There you go. Perfect.
Cool.
We can deal with this technical issues.
Yeah, that's life. But yeah, I think like for sure, I was doing it on my own for a while, and then I had a couple of friends came on that was just like my close friends, and then Abby came along, and then we did it for like 4 years.
Yeah. And
then that there was still like we still are doing it we couldn't rotate out.
Yeah.
So, and then there's kind of like but I've noticed like there's a lot of new channels, so I don't know. I wish that maybe this conversation we could all talk about it at some point, or like have like a
discussion.
Reaction. Yeah, like reactions so new. It's a new path for work, for hobby, or whatever it is. But I think a lot of people just don't realize that you can get burnt out by watching TV shows and movies.
For sure.
And it's also like it's not just watching TV, right? Like you have to like actively, like sometimes when I'm at home and I'm watching TV, it's a whole different activity than watching TV here at the studio. Because when I'm at home, I can like easily pick what I want to watch in the first place. And then
you can do other stuff.
I can do other things, like I like to do my nails, or just like, I can eat while I'm watching something, or I can like clean up a little bit, play with my cat, or just be free human being. But when you're actually like putting on a performance, and you're trying to like memorize things, and you're like really dissecting, and like you're trying to analyze like what happened, like what does it mean, you want to have some like predictions that are based on facts, or like whatever you think is probably gonna happen. And it's like that's a whole different thing. It's not just watching TV.
It's true. I don't think a lot of, if you haven't actually sat and done reactions, you wouldn't know that feeling. But of course you guys you feel it, and I think it's awesome that we have this outlet. It really is. Like we can do something that I grew up watching TV all day. Like that was my babysitter. So for me, like I love Community, because when me and Abed are like so much. And then it was the same way, where I have all these like references that I know from like TV shows I watched when I was a kid. But who would have thought that, in the future I could watch TV shows and it could be like a stable income, or I can make a living.
For sure.
There's not just burnout and all of that, but I think it's something that we could talk about maybe more. People be more like understanding, and also not jump into this if they're not prepared for it either.
Yeah, I think burnout is just one of those things, like regardless what you're doing, it's always gonna, from the other person, it's always gonna seem like that's not that difficult. Like if somebody's having, it's like, from outside perspective, that's not difficult. Like, but if you're doing that every day, like I don't know how your schedule is, but essentially like 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, and you're going from one show to the other, and you have to pay attention to it. Whatever it is, when you do it consistently for 8-7 years, it will cause a burnout, and you just will need to take a break. And I believe you took a little bit of a break as well, right? Or are you still going through a burnout phase, or it's like, okay, I'm good, I'm better now, at least for now, until like a next phase?
I think it's waves.
It's a waves. Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I did. I took a little bit of a break, which was nice because I genuinely have. I think in the 7 years, I never took a break. Like we took maybe 2 weeks or something, but it was constant. And then, yeah, I think that because of just like in my personal life, there was a lot of things going on. I had just, during 2020, I had just moved out of my parents' house. So I lived, and thankfully, you know, I could live with them. I guess that's like a thing when you have, like, my mom is from Iran. So we're like, it's a minority family. This is very common. Like, you stay with the family, you go. And in America, that's not as common, I think, for families. But I feel like really lucky in that aspect. But because of staying in one place for so long and then finally taking the steps like, okay, I've got the financial means. I believe in myself now. Let me take myself, my children, let's go. We're going to have our own foundation of life. Because with the way I grew up was very like, really, like we grew up in a very religious, extremely like staunchly Christian home. And I didn't know, I couldn't see, sometimes when you're in something, you cannot see like the whole picture.
Oh, for sure.
I realized after I moved out, I was like, oh, I don't think I believe all these things. Actually, I was like, that's not even who I am. And like, those are not even my thoughts. Like, these are the things that I was hearing for a long time since I was a kid. And so that I think I was going through my own like identity crisis. So during 2020 was like the pandemic, but then also my own like finding my own self. And so that's where I'm at, like in the last almost 3 years.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah, and there's a lot to find. There's a lot to see.
For sure. For sure. Do you feel like you are at a better place where you know where the channel is going and you have a vision for it, or are you still kind of in a treading waters?
Yeah, I have, so basically like I have a better hold on it, I think. I said, starting it out, it was just like a hobby. It was just for fun, and I was still quite young.
Oh yeah.
And then now I guess it's progressing into like more of mental health. So like when I'm watching something, I just talk about like understanding the character's experiences and how I can maybe relate certain things to my life, my experiences, and just trying to help people because it's just like, it doesn't feel good to be alone. I feel like that, and having a community of people where they're like, oh, like you're going through that too. I am too. And so not only like we have love for what we're watching and love for the movies and the TV shows, but it's like I'm wanting to leave with like a, hey, we're all struggling, but we're still here, and like, don't give up, guys. Like that type of
makes sense.
Because it's important.
That's awesome. So based off of that, I'm assuming that you are selective about like the shows that you watch, so that this topic can be incorporated. And I'm not saying that, you know, it technically it could be literally anything, because mental health is so like it's a topic that, you know, everybody wants to talk about now, and I'm so happy that people are more open to you know, exploring those topics. But what do you feel like was, besides Community, I guess, what was the show that like really helped you open up to your viewers about these things?
What show helped me
to like realize that that's the way you want to take your content and your message to like more like a mental health focus?
Yeah, I think BoJack Horseman,
Oh yeah,
That was-
that's a great one.
Catalyst.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had no idea what to expect from BoJack because he's
Right.
a talking horse. Um, and then it was like, wow, like I was taken aback by that show, and it's like forever, like one of my favorites for sure. And so that was when we started to really talk about our struggles, our mental health, and just it opened the door. And I think Avatar: The Last Airbender. So those two shows they were like the push
Yeah.
Makes sense.
to be more open. I think.
Yeah. Makes
So
sense.
yeah, now we are.
Yeah, both of those are great for this
Yeah.
topic specifically.
Yeah, no, for sure. BoJack is just such a BoJack. Nobody knows what to expect because, yeah, like you said, it's a talking horse with other animals. Like once you get over the universe, it's like, oh wow, this is dark, and he
Yes.
keeps going. It's like this
very
is
dark.
really sad and dark. But at some point, you can relate to some things because, yeah, and once you do it, it's like I don't know how I feel about this, but at least I can self-reflect and see that, yeah, okay, yeah, that's not good. I shouldn't do this.
Yeah,
But
it was experience.
yeah, someone asked in the chat, I forgot the names, like who put you on an anime? You said you started with the Fear of the Walking, like your Walking Dead, Fear of the Walking Dead. How did you start with anime? Is that something that you always watched, or was somebody was like, you should do this?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm like the '90s kid, so I was watching Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon when I was growing up. But then I read manga at like 14, 15. So I was like reading some heavy duty like Berserk. Like I have my Berserk.
Yeah.
Like I was reading, so I read Death Note and Ranma One Half, and Nana was one of my favorite manga.
Love Nana.
Like love, yeah, that's my story. I was obsessed in high school with reading manga, and then I took Japanese in high school as well, and so I was kind of it comes together in that way. But I actually wasn't watching anime in my teenage years. I was just reading manga. So I think what happened was that when I started so I did The Walking Dead and I did Game of Thrones. That's how I found you guys, and I felt like this connection right away. I was like, oh, I hope I can be friends with these people.
Yeah.
And then you guys started doing Attack on Titan, and I was like, whoa, I didn't know we could do anime.
I was like, this is a thing? People watch it now?
Oh, it didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
And then I think what happened was that you guys got like striked in Attack on Titan, or something happened, and I was like, oh, maybe I don't know if I should touch that. That scares me. But then I think 2018 ish, 2019. That was when Abby was a part of the channel, and she did bring up. She was like, a lot of people are watching One Punch Man, so I was like, I guess we could watch it. I'm just scared because of copyright stuff. I just didn't know. And then we started doing, we started One Punch Man. And that was the first anime. And then My Hero Academia was the next anime reaction. Yeah. So it was like a nice welcome back to stuff that I really enjoyed when I was younger.
Yeah, anime is interesting. I remember when we had a discussion of let's watch anime. And I had, just like you, like I grew up on Dragon Ball Z and Inuyasha and read manga. I can't believe you actually read Nana. I loved Nana. Only manga actually I read from beginning to the end. Love it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, so I remember when we were talking about starting anime, and it's like, I haven't seen anime for so long. If we start watching this, that means opening a Pandora box. Then I have to go back and watch all the other that I stopped watching. Are you sure? Like, is this a thing now? Are people watching anime again?
It's a commitment. There's so much.
It is. But yeah. it opened up everything. Yu Yu Hakusho, oh, love Yu Yu Hakusho. I would love to watch that.
I still haven't. I need to watch it. I watched part of. I don't think I've even got that far into it, but it was good.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that's the same. I have the same feeling, Navi. Like it's the same. It's the Pandora's box being open.
Yeah.
But it was the right move for everybody.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, I like did not expect like anime to be popular at all because
You never grew
was
up with
very sheltered as a child from like anything that wasn't like relevant to my culture.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, anime is completely off the table. There was I remember like few Saturdays there was Pokemon on TV.
Yeah.
And that's about all the exposure I had
Pokemon.
to anime. So, like once I moved to the United States and met the Normies, and you know, the first anime I actually ever watched as an adult was Attack on Titan, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? But yeah, and just kind of like spiraled from there. It's like, oh, God, look at this, look at all of this.
Yeah. It's
Wow, that's actually really interesting. That's your first experience into anime.
Yeah,
And you love Attack on Titan, right?
I do. Yeah, I love it.
All the manga.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I finished. I know what happens.
Oh, you do? Oh.
You can't say it.
I
You
know.
can't say it.
I know. I did like I recently did like a video essay too about it. But yeah, I don't talk about it in a studio.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I'm like worried you might slip and they're going to one. But I think that's so cool, though. Like, it's I don't know. That's the thing. Anime is so powerful. Like, it genuinely is so good. And it's like, it brings so many people together.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
everybody can like anime.
Yeah.
But, like, I will say, growing up, when I was reading manga, it was not cool at all. And
So true.
I had to be hazing of it, and today, like, people thankfully they don't have to go through the hazing, but there was a lot, like, my family was bullying me, like, why do you like that? I'm like, you're my mom. Why are you bullying? Like, what?
Oh,
But it's just like, so I don't know why. Things that are different, people will always have something to say.
For sure.
And then,
Yeah, and now it's so popular. Like everybody, Naruto is everywhere. Dragon Ball Z is everywhere. Like everybody is so insanely obsessed with anime. And you're right. Like when I was younger, I will go to library to get a manga, and until I found a website online, I could read them. But like library only carried like few books, so we like have 1 or 2, then have 3, so the 4 or 5, then have 6. I was like, that's fine. I will take what I can get. I will read this and never finished it. That's fine. But yeah, now they carry so much, but the world has changed. Like anime, everybody's just anime is like up here, like it's god tier compared to like what it used to be.
I think it's great that like and being a nerd is not like something that you get ostracized for anymore. Like, you know, as humanity, we really made strides forward in that one aspect.
For sure.
I don't know or I don't know what happened behind me. But, I think I appreciate it too. It's just cool. Like we can all like what we like. It seems like it's a little deeper.
Yeah.
To like what we. And but I will say I would go to, do you guys remember Borders bookstore? Like before it was taken out. Okay. That was where I would go. I would go to Borders and then but I was skipping school for this. It's not, I mean, I graduated, everything's fine, but I was just like, I hated school except my Japanese class. I loved taking my Japanese class, but I just wasn't fitting in. So I just started going to read manga because I was like under stress.
Yeah.
So for me, manga was like an escape, and it actually really I think therapeutic for me. So that's another thing. Like I really, that's why I want to make sure like the community is strong. Like, you know, when I'm watching stuff, like letting people know like you're not alone. Like it's okay to like these things, because I think there's still some people still get like some bullying in school, and
sure.
You would be surprised to like, we sometimes think like it's all like everyone's free and loves everybody, but it's still, there's a lot of
Yeah.
Kids gonna be kids, right? Like,
kids are
kids are mean as shit.
Yeah, they're the meanest things.
Yeah. I mean, my boys. So it's so funny. Like they watch Naruto.
Nice.
So Sora, he's 10, and Titus is 7, and Sora is watching One Piece.
Oh.
And he like the 600 episodes, like far, and he's like, you need to react to One Piece. I'm like, that is a long anime. So it's so cool because like I don't know if you guys ever, you know, in the future if you ever plan to have children, but to have like my kids talk to me about anime is weird. Like it's just you know, like I would never have thought like we can have conversation. Like it's awesome.
Yeah.
And so I don't know, they might come guest star on the channel one of these days, and they can talk about Naruto. They want me to watch Naruto too.
Oh, you should. You should.
I feel like they've told. I know too many things though.
It's fine.
Like spoilers.
You still won't know a lot. Actually, that was going to be my question. Have you ever thought about bringing your kids to your reactions? Like, if you watch Naruto, will you have Sora sit on it and watch it, or is that just like no, keep them separate?
Yeah. We've talked about Titus. He wants to be on screen. He wants his own YouTube channel. But I'm just like, yeah, I do. But then it's so volatile, like our platform. So it makes me worried a little bit. But they do want to do it, and so. But we've just been talking.
Makes sense.
But I feel like it would be so cool to hear like a kid's perspective on the shows, because usually it's just like adults watching anime on YouTube. But when I hear them talking about like Itachi and his relationship with Sasuke, and like I don't know, wow, you guys are like, they're so bright, like they and all the dynamics and the complexity of their relationship, and then they are also brothers, so maybe they like I don't know, they can relate a little.
Yeah.
But it would be cool to have them come on maybe in the future.
That would be cool, especially for like show like Naruto. It is made for kids, but when you watch it as adults, like how was kid comprehending these big life lessons? Because it gets crazy where it's not as gory, like the kid can't watch it, but it's like I don't know what lesson kid has gotten compared to me, and that would be a cool discussion to have. It's like, this is like how you took it, and while your kid was like, oh, it's a friendship, I love the friendship, and we're like, oh my god, Sasuke, let go of Naruto. Like on Naruto, let go of Sasuke. But yeah, that'd be cool.
I think maybe one of the ways this could be done, if you're like, you know, worried about how this will affect your relationship with them, or their relationship to just, you know, the internet in general, or people's responses to that as well, because that could also be a lot. I think I remember listening to a podcast where it was a dad who was interviewing his kids on like different topics, and it was like, you know, it's like less, I guess it's less commitment. It's also like
one time.
It's audio only, so that's also, you know, it helps too. And like they were talking about so many like different things, and it was super interesting to hear like a child talk about it, and the way the dad was like guiding them through conversation was really cool. So maybe
Aw.
something like that,
Oh.
just, if you have worries, because, it's
Yeah.
understandable.
If you can you send me maybe like a
I'm
link if
gonna,
you remember?
yeah, I'm gonna have to look for that because it's been a while and I like blanking everything on it.
Yeah, but that would
Yeah.
be cool.
Thing. I mean, that's it's kind of like keeping. It's so weird. I mean, because we all put ourselves on social media.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of hard to be anonymous. But yeah, it's one of those like it's so complicated where I'm like
Yeah.
I don't want to be like there's like some channels that are just their kids kind of exploited.
Yes.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's the part.
Oh, for sure.
Dude. But they have a lot to say, and I feel like their wisdom as children is really important. I really genuinely believe it. Like that's and so they like I learn a lot from them too. Like I'm like, wow, like, you guys have a very beautiful perspective. So that could be like maybe starting audio only. That's a good idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, it's a fine line, right? Like you bringing on kids, like it's just how you're gonna go about it, but like the public may take it differently, and also just the kids as like really young kids now are on Instagram, social media, where we didn't even have phones when we were kids, so but it's not like you can't keep it away from them. They already are aware of it because that's the thing. Like their friends will have it, but just such a fine line to walk on, like compared to how we grew up, what we want to preserve, but compared to where the world is right now, because you can't really stop giving them technology because then other kids are gonna surpass them while they wouldn't even know what Instagram is. It's really difficult. Yeah, I can feel your position. Just it's a difficult choice to make. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Someone mentioned that they love watching your channel because you get really emotional in some of your reactions and they really connect with it. And so Mac the Star asking, which show or episode made you the most emotional cry? Like, is there a show that you're like, okay, I can't watch it without like crying? I know it's a lot to think about immediately.
I mean, I've cried a lot.
Same.
Same, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. Well, I appreciate that. That's really nice to hear. First of all, it's like really cool that someone can relate to that. I mean, I guess the most that I cried was The Walking Dead. The what was it? Season 7, episode 1 or episode 2. I know not everyone has seen The Walking Dead, but I won't spoil it. But the big Negan and Lucille thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we know.
Yeah, that was the most. I think the most vulnerable I've ever been on camera. Because I still at that point I only had like less than 4,000 subscribers at that time.
Gotcha.
So it was such a small community. So for me, I did not know that other people would come to the video. So I think like I don't know if you guys know Sam, but he's from the channel JVS. But he's been around for a really long time on the platform. He was really helpful because I needed after this emotional thing. There were all of our videos went viral at that time. Yeah. Everyone, people who weren't even watching The Walking Dead came, and so at first I was like, oh wow, now what happened? Happening.
I know, but we still have you connected as an audio, so that's good. I don't know why you've been kicked off from our channel.
I know. I don't know why either. I guess I'll have to wait for you guys to put me back on. But yeah, so it was just like this strange thing. I don't think a lot of us were prepared because I think we were all still in our early days.
Oh, for sure.
So yeah, we were. so for me, when I cried, it was just so genuine. And not that the crying I do now is not genuine, but I definitely, in the back of my mind, I always have that, like, because of all the hateful comments I got for crying in that video, it was like, oh my God, people were like, legitimately, they wanted, like, someone was like, he wanted to, like, take my life.
Because
like,
you were crying for that scene?
Yeah, so I don't know what I can say on here because this is Twitch, so I don't want you guys to get,
you can
like...
say whatever. Twitch.
Oh, really?
Say whatever on Twitch. Yeah.
Are you...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we can
You have our
whatever.
permission.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, he was... I mean, they're saying, like, they wanted... A lot of people wanted to kill me, like, genuinely, and even, like, they wanted to, like, cut my head off. Like, so it was, like, I was shocked.
Yeah.
Because I was like, what the hell is going... Like, I'm just watching a show that I really like.
Yeah.
And then this... Like, and then they found out I had children, and they started talking about my kids, and it was really crazy, like, genuinely crazy. And then I almost deleted the video. But I reached out to Sam, and I was like, I don't think I can handle this. This is it's just too much for me to handle. And he just told me, like, Imon, like, I want to say that your reaction was, like, the most real thing I've ever seen on, like, a real emotional reaction, and really touched me.
Yeah.
And so he's like, just try to ignore. If you can't ignore it, you can block or turn the comments off. But he just was like, just let it be. And I needed to hear that because I was so scared. I wanted to just run away and hide.
Yeah.
But so when I bring that up, it's because that's probably the most, like, I didn't even remember I had cameras on me. Like, that's how it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's weird doing reactions.
Oh, I
and
bet.
Being, especially.
Oh, for sure.
It really, I guess, people are not. They're scared of emotions. That's what I've realized being on this platform.
Interesting.
Like, yeah, I think it makes people uncomfortable. Because a lot of people are not really open with their own emotions. So when they see doing that, they're like, ugh, like, you're a loser, or you're a, like, all the, whatever they want to say to make themselves feel like, okay, the world is okay. The world is okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what the psychology is behind that, but it's something that I've noticed.
That's crazy. I would have never thought that because you were emotional in that scene that people will want to, like, leave those comments. Like, people are mean, but just for somebody being emotional, it's like, all right, she didn't say anything wrong. She just had emotional reaction to... Clearly, everybody had the same reaction because somebody was dying in that scene brutally for somebody that you were from episode 1.
Yeah, and somebody you're, like, attached to.
Yeah. And that's crazy.
Awful. Yeah. I mean, it's... Unfortunately, this kind of thing comes with the territory of just being on the internet because, like...
We know that now.
The amount of filth that our mods have to go through just to protect us from, like, seeing certain things is insane. And, like... Sorry, go ahead.
You still go through... They still have to go through that, the comments?
Well, I mean, yeah, sometimes, like, we have live stream mods, and we also have mods on our Discord, and I'm really proud of our Discord community because it's, like, one of the, like, safest places in, like, the reaction.
Try best. Yeah.
Like, they doing so much, to just, like, all of the rules that we have in our Discord, like, it might be overwhelming at first, but you have to understand that there's a reason why we have every single rule in that. The amount of just, like, ridiculous things that we've encountered is there's always a rule for when someone breaks something that we didn't know could be broken, and there's a rule.
Yeah, well, I guess I would think by now you guys the hate would be less.
Oh God, no.
It is, and it isn't.
No?
Because you continue to be
What?
like discovered with new people, right? And then they like they still have
But
like
you-
different expectations.
Yeah, you guys, I feel like people are really hard on you guys. I like just for like years, like, because there was times where I'll like check on you and like look on the comments, and I always felt like for some reason you guys get harder than a lot of people, and I don't even know why. Like,
I think it's because we have a lot more people, and everybody can find one person in each that they can dunk on, because they want somebody to find a scapegoat, right? So then usually like it's a Pat because he said something, and then they go down to right. Like if I said something wrong, and then they go down there. It's like we can't please everybody, and we just have very different personality. That there will be one person who will say something in the heat of a moment, and you go down the rabbit hole.
well, I remember Pat was the biggest scapegoat for a while, so I remember that.
Yeah.
For game, I don't know going forward how it was, but
yeah. He's gotten better. It's interesting because I started therapy yesterday, and the one question that she asked is like, "Oh, what you think? Like, are you, what is it? Low? Like, do you have a low confidence, low self-esteem?" And I was like, I'm not sure, but it's just when you were in this space where people will comment things that you were slightly thinking about it, and then I'm like, oh, wait, somebody else noticed that too. So it's like, I don't think that brings my esteem, like, it's not a low self-esteem, but more so like, okay, so other people... Self-doubt. Yeah. But then somebody else put in, and it was like, oh, okay, so it's not just me doubting, it is something that somebody's seeing it, but like, it gets to you, but then you kind of have to just push it to the side. Like, there's no way. It's hard not to read comments.
Yeah, and I feel like for us as women on the internet, it's even harder because I often feel like that girls are not allowed to have opinions
or cry
or just express anything whatsoever, and that's hard. I had like a really hard time this winter with depression, and like I didn't even realize that like there was a connection, but the fact that I get scrutinized so much on the internet that like after I had like time to sit down and really like dissect what's happening inside my head, I realized that like I just don't like say what's on my mind anymore a lot of the times because I'm afraid what the response is going to be, and I just like censor myself before I say anything, and it makes me feel like
not genuine.
Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm not being authentic, but also like it makes me that like the self-doubt gets even bigger, right? Because you're just like thinking too much about what you're saying, and then in the end you just don't say anything. And I really like had a hard time with that this winter, and I'm so glad winter is not here anymore. And that I also started therapy to address these things.
Nice.
So,
Oh, good.
it was rough.
I feel for you, Marketa, because I know I'm very aware of what goes on with like in the community, like comments, and I don't know. I think you're also protecting yourself too, so don't be too hard on yourself. I think there's a level of protection, like self-preservation.
Yeah.
So if you're, like, you don't need to give everything out there to them. If it's to protect your mental health, and you've already seen what happens if you do say what you want to say.
Yeah.
Saying something to be like, oh man, like I should be doing this, I shouldn't, but I understand because our, the brain is like that, it's easy to see like the negative part, but I hope that you can like get to that place again where you start to feel like, you know what, I can just say whatever I want, but I think it's good you're in that place of taking a little bit of caution too.
Yeah.
In my opinion. So I think you're protecting yourself.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's just it comes to a point where you're like cautious to the point where you just
Self-censoring.
self-censor, but then like
Yeah.
there comes like this, like that, like thought process can spiral out of control where you're just like don't think that anything you say is the right thing, and like it can like really seep into other situation, and not just like, you know, your online personality. Like you can start thinking this way, that like what you have to say is not enough, or it's not appropriate, or it's stupid in like other
Yeah.
situation, like, you know, when you talk to somebody in real life, or you try to go on dates and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
thankfully I'm married, so I don't have to do that anymore. But I really feel like my social skills have like tanked since this started, you know. So I was just like admitting it to myself, and was just trying to like be more confident when I talk again, because I don't want to keep thinking about, I don't want to keep like censoring myself constantly, you
Makes
know.
sense.
Like if you don't like
Yeah.
it, then you don't like it, and that's fine. But
Yeah.
this is what I think.
You know, yeah, I think that's awesome. I mean, you have to do that. So it's just like, it's, yeah, see, this is what I mean. Like, our job is so weird. like,
It is.
oh, it's like, what the heck? Like, I'm so thankful that you guys are doing therapy and because you have to have some outlet to, and then also you guys have each other to like talk, you know, to talk about like, that's kind of crazy that happened. But I understand like having I think like there's like the ups and downs of this, of reactions, because times where I self-censored too, where I was just so, I didn't want to, I felt too scared to express myself too. It just happens because it's so vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like, we are not anonymous. We say one thing, and then everyone forever like takes that one, and then that's who you are. Oh, I'm more than that. Like, I'm just talking, or just trying to have fun. So I completely get it.
Yeah.
And yeah, there should be like a reaction therapy, like just for reactioners. I don't know. Like,
Oh my god.
That'd be a good one.
So like explaining what I do to my therapist was a lot, because he's an old white man. It was like explaining it to my parents. They still don't understand, but I think my therapist at this point, he understands what I'm doing.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's so new. It's yeah, this is all just so brand. Everything we're all doing is like, we're the front. It's the frontiers of the, what is that called when you set out?
Vulnerability.
We're exploring. Yeah, we're just, there was no blueprint to this.
Yeah. Yeah, we're setting it up ourselves, figuring it out ourselves. Yeah. I think, like, you touched on a really good point. Like, I think my favorite comments and the terrifying comments are when you say one thing and they profile you, the whole person you are.
Oh God, I hate that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, wow. Okay, so this is my profile based on this. It's like, you don't know me as a person at all. It's like, okay, that's fine. I like reading those. It's like, okay, it's reading a horoscope, right? Like reading a horoscope based on like your moon. It's like, how can you tell that's me?
So like, Imon, have you seen Buffy?
No, I have not seen Buffy, but I'm actually really would love to start watching that show.
That would be a great one for you, I think. As a 90s kids, if you missed that, I think that people would really love to see your reaction to it. Nice. But there's a moment where like, you know, Buffy was about to have like a love interest. Oh. And then it just turns out that this guy is like really bad. But I was really like hoping that this guy would be good, because her previous love life was just abysmal. I was like, please let this guy be okay. Yeah. And I was really like putting a lot of hopes into this relationship being good. And like then he ended up being like an absolute douchebag. Of course. And I condemned him, you know, for that behavior. And I was like, okay, well, fuck this guy. You know, like she can do so much better. But like, and this wasn't like people. This was like one specific person, but it like stood out so much because he was like literally like making conclusions about my entire personality based on the fact that I fell for
This love story.
a character that's not like it's not a real person, you know.
No.
And it was just so weird. Like, why would you think that I am this or that because I believed in a fictional character's motivations?
Because they wanted us to believe it.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
People are weird. I'm gonna fix this one more time.
But
Well,
yeah.
that always, it just happens. I don't know. I don't know. It's just humans. We are all so strange and also awesome, but strange and weird. And I don't know why this happens, but it's like a weird experiment, I guess, what we do. And, social media is an experiment, I feel.
Oh.
Where I've noticed, like, for me, I had to get off. Like, this past year, I did like a cleanse from social media as much as I could. And I haven't posted a whole lot. I haven't done a whole lot, but I was just like, there's so much negativity and toxicity. Like, you literally, I mean, I know there's an episode of Community that I just watched. It was like season 5. It might have been the finale, actually. But it was about, like, there was like a cute kitten, and then underneath the kitten, there was all these comments of, like, there's conspiracies and hate. And it's like, it's a kitten. Why are we arguing? But that's how I feel. I was like, you know what? I think I actually deleted my Twitter account because it was just so, personally for me, I was just like, I can't deal with this stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I was reading, I guess. I was just really negative. But I know there's positive stuff too, though.
Yeah.
Like, there's always positive. But for me, I was just like, I'm just going to stop. I need to really check in with my mental health. And,
makes sense.
I don't know if you can say seek, but yeah, so it's just kind of like a cleanse is good, and just kind of going outside, talking to human beings, real. And then it was like, oh, you know what? Actually, the world's not that bad.
Yeah.
The world there's a lot more happiness, and people are just trying to make it through here. But so it's like, it's hard what we do. It can be hard what we do.
Yeah. Was it difficult for you to take that radical step and, like, really log off of, like, all the social media and even take a break from creating videos and stuff? Because it is, you know, I think if, you know, for other people this is just like, I want to do, like, a virtual cleanse, but you still have a job, you know, and you still have friends and stuff. But, you know, for us, it's like, this is, like, so integrated within our lives and our, like, survival that it's much harder. So how was that?
Well, I'm just that type of person. I'm like, I don't know how to explain it, but I knew that I had to keep something online because that's my what I do. But then I was just like, I don't know. I think for me, it's easy for me to disconnect because I hear, like, if my kids are, like, arguing or, you know, like, or doing something that is fun, like, I get to just go away. It's so I feel very I can connect with the online world, but I can disconnect easily because I have, like, things that I'm really passionate about in my real life here. But I also knew it was, like, necessary. If I didn't do that, I would be in much more of, like, a crisis. And I don't think this is for everybody. I think it's just for me personally. I'm just sensitive to things, and I think I can tell, Marketa, you are too, like, and Navi too. It's just like we're bombarded with the news and with this shooting happened, these kids were hurt in this way. This was happening. There's the coronavirus. Like all like, this is fake. This is real. And I was just like, I don't know. Like is this okay? So to be honest with you, I had a feeling like things can take a downward turn financially for me or my channel, but I had to make the risk.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And the risk was my mental health takes a bad turn, and I don't know if I'll be able to come back, or the channel goes down, but I could come back because I'll be strong mentally. So that was that's where I've been, and so I was like, I'm going to choose my own health, my own like sanity. Yeah. And then I feel like it's I learned a lot. I don't know. It's just been necessary and scary. For sure. And but you learn how strong you are. I think like we're all so strong. Yeah. We can really do. We can do a lot as humans. For sure. Yeah. I don't know. Really deep. I don't know how deep this was.
No, this is great.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, taking like a risk like that is always, it's a risk, right? Like that's where risk comes in. Like it could go either way, but I'm glad that you listened to yourself. Like this is something that you needed for yourself, and it made you come back stronger even before. Like you said, we are all really strong people. Making that kind of decision is also somebody only a strong person can make. Yeah. Because you will have to be prepared for whatever, if the risk is the negative one, and if it does happen, you're already prepping yourself for it. So like, you can only take that risk because you were strong. So,
that's the thing. Is that any choice we make, whether it's good or bad, there's always a consequence. And the consequence can be good or bad. But there's always, 2 + 2 = 4. Like there's whatever you do will add up to something.
Every action has a reaction.
Yes. Right. So that is, but that's life. That's just what life is like. Yeah. And that's it's kind of like a game in a weird way, but it's not a game because it's real. No. But that's really, makes sense. That's what it is. And it is a little scary, actually.
Yeah, definitely. For sure. Okay. Well, it's been longer than we wanted to, because this conversation had been great. I think it's something that we can keep on going forever.
We could. Yeah.
But Imon, I want to give you opportunity to let the people who are joining us. There's a lot of people in the chat. They love your reactions. They're excited to see you here. What is something new that's happening on your channel? Like you said, our reaction is gonna be dropping on your channel today. Yeah. That's pretty exciting. What else do you have prepped to be reacting to, or do you have any other news that you want to share?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get back into movies again. Like I'm trying to move towards that goal. But so RRR, I'm very excited for that reaction to come out. And then I'm just really happy with my smaller community I have right now with the community show and with Outlander and Vinland Saga. I have things that I'm working on, but it's more behind the scenes. So it's not I don't want to say yet, but there's a lot to get out there. And I just appreciate anybody who wants to follow me. And I will start to post a little bit more on my Instagram. So if you want to follow me on Imon_Snow, that's where you can find me on my social media. But I definitely want to start posting more there again. And it's just I'm excited for what is to come.
Good.
So,
awesome.
Yeah. I'm happy that you guys have.
No, I'm super excited. Yeah, I was looking at your Instagram. I did realize oh yeah, you haven't posted for a while. I was okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that breaks.
It's the opposite of what we all do.
For sure.
This is, but yeah, I have things that I'd like to start posting again.
Good.
But yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're happy to have you back. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is a great conversation. We should do this again.
Yes. Now that we have figured out how to do it for sure.
Yeah, and maybe I'll come to Indiana. I mean, like,
yes, we will have PopCon happening in the summer. If you want to come, we'll love to do a collaboration. People have been asking about it. That'll be great.
We would love to have you back.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Chris is ready to press the button.
We're gonna raid.
Okay.
Tell everybody to stick around for the raid.
Super Secret Girls Club.
Tell everyone to stick around for the raid.
Okay. Everybody, please stick around for the raid. And Chris is going to press the button now to
Super
let us
Secret
out.
Girls Club.
Chris, you're being rude.
Get ready, because it's about time for you to speak your mind. Super Secret Girls Club. Secret Girls Club. Super Secret Girls Club.